Good morning, or I think it's about morning, maybe afternoon. Today I'm gonna do something new, and I got this selfie stick, so I'm gonna try out a walk and talk. I haven't done that before, and maybe the scenery will be somewhat more interesting than otherwise. And it's really cold here. It's like single digits probably, and the car battery died. I think the alternator stopped working or something, so I'm working on getting that charged up. I think the battery's still good, but we'll see. And what I want to talk about today is the war against the Miscreants. So as of 2 or 3 days ago, I declared war upon the Miscreants. And this could be analogized with, in Star Wars, it's like the war of good against evil, the light and the dark forces that battle each other. In most stories, there's like kind of that divide of good and evil. And so I use the term miscreant to define who the enemy is. And the definition of miscreant is essentially one who is against creation. And thus, it's a fitting name for the enemy. Simultaneously, I'm going to introduce you to my neighbors here. We've got Stardust and Independence here. Stardust has been away at another farm for a while. Yeah, good boy. I don't talk to the phone. Yeah, good boy. Thinks I might have treats. And he just came back. He got a little sick. I think it was because he was around all these people who got jabbed. So we gave him his ivermectin, and he's all back to good. This is Independence. He's younger. So he's the son of the... Independence is the son of the matriarch. This one here is Stardust. Hey, dude. He's like, what is this? What's going on here? Who are you talking to? Oh, yeah. They're great sparring partners. See, right now he's trying to uproot me. I have to lean back and make sure that the force he applies doesn't uproot me. The horses are the best sparring partners for testing one's root. His mom is the best. She gets me almost every time. But very few of the other ones do. Love you guys. They're just chilling here eating on some hay over there. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. I love you. Oh, God, eat me. He's glad to be back with his family. I told Carrie to put him with Odin, his big brother, but she decided to put him here with Independence. Her choice, not mine. Oh, yeah. He's a good boy. He doesn't much like being alone. Especially Stardust doesn't. He's a very feisty dude. He's feisty, and he likes playing with other horses. You can see he's got a cut on his lip from a bit too much playing, I think. Oh. The horses play, at least especially with humans, they'll play by trying to uproot you to make you move. So he'll play, he'll nip if he can, he'll push on me like this, try to make me uproot me. And so it's a learned skill to be able to play with them without letting them establish dominance over you. So you respect them, they respect you. And there are some essential lessons when it comes to one's stance and rootedness, so as to not be uprooted. Hey guys! Someone over there's talking. Who is that? Who is that talking? Yeah. To keep you on this side. Here you go, boys. These are divine creatures of creation. I love animals because they're always so genuine and honest, and they're never two-faced. Humans are almost always two-faced. They'll do one thing when they mean another. Oh, the horses don't do that. As long as you understand what they mean. Like when he's pushing on me, he does that because he loves me and he wants to play. And he's happy to be back with his family. Independence here. He's kind of nonchalant. He's like, meh, don't need to play. Hey, dude. That's actually Odin making all the noise over there. We'll go check him out. He's the one who should be in here with Stardust, because that's his brother. His older brother. Usually, when I come in to see the horses, I'll stay with them as long as they want to still give me attention. And then when they lose interest in me, then I'll carry on my way. But this time I'm gonna carry on anyways, even though they want more attention. Hey, dude, we're coming to come see you. That's Odin. Hey, dude. How are you, Mr. Brother? Doing an awful lot of talking. Looking over there somewhere. There, I got a selfie stick. What do you think about that? Whoa! Gotta get in there. Oh. You got water in there. How are you, dude? Hi. You're on camera. Introducing you to the world. I'm gonna come around you. This is Odin. He's Stardust's older brother. Both him and his brother are quite feisty. Quite feisty and quite playful. Sorry if my angles with this thing are off at all. It's my first time, like I said, doing it. Yeah, good boy. He's not nearly as feisty as his brother today, though. But if they were together in there, they'd be running all around, playing together. He's not too interested in me, so I'm gonna carry on to the other horses. So, up next, we got Zeus. Zeus is over here by himself. Currently, his mom, Sara, is getting leased out at another farm where Stardust used to be. She's the only one that's away right now. And I imagine he misses his mom. So he's pretty independent. A lot more independent than independence. How are you, dude? Oh! Got spooked. What are you spooked about? Hi. You're on camera. Alright, say hi to the world. What are you on about? I was going to say hi. Yeah. No, I'm gonna spectacle. Just introducing you. He's got a very strong head. You see that nose of his? Like bows out like his mom. Makes me think of a war horse. Yes, this is like a war horse. What are you doing, Zeus? I'm trying to get my gloves. My gloves is. Alright, we'll go see the other ones. Later, dude. You can see the castle, OG Foundation in the background. So these horses are the neighbors. It's a horse and cattle farm that my mom owns. That is adjacent, which is great. This is Rocate. Oh, hey, dude. His mom and his sister right nearby. And that's his Uncle Treasure right next to him. Hey, dude. Maybe I don't think I might have treats for him. Yeah, good boy. He's a very sweet and intelligent guy. He's not really a big feisty one. But he's super sweet. He'll often come up and be the first to say hi. He's got a sister and a mom. What do you think about that? Yeah. You give me a hug. Horses are really the greatest friends. Got no drama. They always tell you exactly how they feel. There you go, boy. He's getting right down to my feet. Hey! Trying to bite my shoe. Oh, there you go, boy. Yeah. We'll see his older sister over here, Sapphire. Sophia. Sapphire is another name for Rokate, but I call him Rokate. It's like a rearrangement of the words in Socrates. This is Sophia, daughter of Sappho's. She's super sweet also. Yeah, you guys are just so sweet. How you doing, Tresh? Tresh is a lot older. He's maybe the oldest one here. He's the alpha dude. How's it doing, Tresh? Tresh requires the most respect. Yeah. If you don't come to Treasure with respect, he's not gonna like you. Very independent. And here's Sapphos, mother of Sophia and Rokate. Hey, gorgeous. Oh, yeah, you're so sweet. You're on camera. The world gets to see you in your beauty. You're a gorgeous girl. Oh, I love you. Child's Play, the matriarch, actually appears not to be in here. Oh, you're so lovely. I love you. Look at that gorgeous mane. Can't stand it when people cut the horse's manes. That's what happened to Sara at this other barn. She's getting leased out, and they cut her mane so short, and they shaved her neck and chest so that they can work her. Oh, these little horsies. Even though it's wintertime, they need that winter coat. That hair keeps them warm. Yeah. Oh, you're gorgeous. Oh, don't eat my gloves. That's not for you. I thought Child's Play was going to be in here and I could show you how good she is at sparring. Because she beats me almost every time. She's so strong, she can uproot me. But sometimes I can stand my ground. Hey, sweetheart, this is Charlotte. I love you. She's a gorgeous girl. She's so sweet. She used to have, be almost basically lame in one of her legs. Yeah, but she healed somewhat amazingly. She was lame for years. She's healed now. Baby girl. And last but not least, in this one, is Rocket. He's laying down. Hi, Rocket. How are you? Oh, I'm gonna sit here next to you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You look mighty comfy in your hay bed there. Pretty smart. You seem to have a bit of a wheeziness going on. Yeah, that doesn't sound so good. I'm gonna tell Carrie to give them their. A couple of them seem like they're maybe a little bit some kind of flu going around. Only the one Stardust got his ivermectin. He's got lots of goobers on his chin. Oh, pretty labored breathing. But yeah, I got all sorts of horse paste, like $500 a horse paste, like 40 tubes of 3 different kinds. So we'll get him some horse paste, maybe that'll help him out. Even though it's mostly for parasites, if it's anyhow related to the coronavirus, then the ivermectin can help to neutralize those spike proteins. We'll see you later, Rocket. Hope you feel better. I'll tell Carrie that you're wheezing. He's a wheezer. Alright, now we'll go this way. Right, so Miscreants are essentially those who are already at war against creation. That's how I'll define them. They hate life, essentially, and then they take it out on all of the rest of life. They don't like freedom. They try to restrict freedom. They don't like nature and its ways. So they work to undermine all that. And for the most part, creation is very tolerant and can abide the attacks, the mutations, the malintent. However, there's a time for everything. There's a time for being passive. There's a time for standing on the ridge and just doing a 360. And there's a time for justice. Justice is very important. And so, what does it mean to wage war on the miscreants? Well, primarily, it's an internal war. It's not like I'm going out and actually fighting people. Not yet, anyways. It might come to that. It's unclear, but it is clear that if nothing is done, that the miscreants will just continue to rise and dominate, and in the end, they'll destroy creation, just like they did on Mars. Mars used to be habitated and got taken over by the primordial beast energy, and now is basically a place of desolation. There's perhaps some life there, but it's not a thriving life field. It's a surviving life field, and that's what happens when the miscreants are able to take charge, to prevail. That essentially they destroy the abundance of life, and for their own profit. They define profit in terms of debt units, and they'll do whatever they can to extract any value out of the creation, the living ecosystems, in a competitive way. So they're actually maybe also making so much noise because Child's Play isn't in there. So Zeus, in particular, seems to be making sounds to call out to Child's Play. I think that's all he's missing in there. So what we kind of see in the world is like, and it's just getting worse and worse with the miscreants, like the in Australia, Gunner says in the Northwest Territory of Australia, you can't, if you're unjabbed, you can't leave your house for work, for a grocery store, you can't do anything, basically. Just sit at home and die. If you're a natural being who hasn't genetically modified yourself with these poison jabs, then just sit at home and die, because the miscreants only want mutants. They want derided sub-beings who obey rules. They don't want empowered, integral, divine creatures who are independent. Because where's the profit in that, right? How can they profit off me? They can't charge me for my power. They can't charge me for my water. They can't charge me for licensure for anything, for permits. They can't mandate my insurance. They've got no debt control over me, and so I'm like an enemy to the system of miscreants. And so we see it. The borders are locked down. You can't leave the borders. Can't go out to a music show or go to a lot of cafes. A lot of places have rolled back the mandates and all that. But what they've done in Vermont is They changed it from a statewide mandate to now it's basically just like region-wide or city-wide. So if you go into the populated places where the people are, where the stores are, where the commerce is, you're expected to mask up. Pretty soon you'll be mandated to jab up. You won't be able to do any commerce unless you have the mark of the beast injected into you, deriding your very being. And so I'm not into the whole Bible prophecy or the Bible at all, any of the dogma. But I don't deny the truth spoken by other people. And you can see parallels, certainly. So what it means for me to declare war on the miscreants, and it's a personal jihad of sorts, or war, holy war, on behalf of God and creation and Christ, the living God, in order to attain health through justice. Hey dude, this is Sundance over here. He's the stud, so he's got to be by himself in his studly ways. And on behalf of the living creatures, that they may continue to be natural and free, and me being one of them. And so how it's waged, from my perspective, is an internal war, and it's ending the toleration of tolerating miscreants in my life, and so the external reflection and the internal reflection. So we all have people in our lives, not all of us, most of us have people in our lives who are miscreants, who don't have our best intentions, who deride us at every chance, and whose actions are sinful. They're without a connection with the divine creation. Hey dude, how are you? I'm doing a walk and talk. What do you think about that? Oh, I love you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, you like walking. You're not a big talker, but you like the walking. Oh, he's another good sparring partner. Oh, he's not nearly as good as his mom. So his mom is Child's Play, and his brother is Independence. Oh, you're a good boy. Yep, and he's also the father of Sophia and of Rokate, and of Zeus, and of Stardust. Anyone else? And of Odin. So Odin and Stardust have the same mom and dad, and Sophia and Rokate have the same mom and dad, and the two are, I guess, half brothers of each other, half brother sisters of each other, because they got the same dad but different mamas. Ooh, how many babies you got now, dude? I think he's probably got like 10 or maybe 12. Oh, he's such a good guy. You're so sweet, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love you too. He doesn't get a lot of attention over here. Oh, gosh, I've got the angle all wrong. My bad. Tough doing this whole videotaping, recording, stick thing. Yeah. So these are the ones who I fight on behalf of. Even though, like I said, the battle is internal. Oh, let's get this thing further away. Ooh, look how long this thing gets, dude. Yeah, look at that. What do you think about that? Still getting used to it. Yeah. Oh, you got an itchy head. Yeah. The horses really love to engage with someone who's rooted. Most people don't even know the concept of what rooted is. But when you're rooted, you can actually apply force in any direction. And, oh, the horses like that because that's how they play. And you're itching also, so it's like a living itching post. Oh, and give me little love nips. Oh, yeah, you're so sweet. There's a big difference between a love nip and a bite nip. He's a sweetheart. Basically, it's whether or not they open their mouth. They're just playing with you with their nose and their lips. It's like kisses. Love nip kisses. Yeah, you're such a sweetheart. Oh, yeah, I love you. Yeah, we're good company. We're such good neighbors. Never any trouble. Oh, we got a big yawn. Oh, sleepy guy. Alright, I'll leave you be. Okay, Miscreants, internal purging. So it's both it's an internal purging, which from my perspective, got some of his horse juice on my beard, mustache. From my perspective is here at the bottom of OG Foundation here. We cleaned off all the solar panels early this morning because there's a couple inches of snow. And so we're walking outside the border, essentially. The green fence is the border. And so part of it is removing those miscreants from our lives externally. And it doesn't mean, or the way that I do that is basically clarifying relative to intent, whether people are symbiotic or not. So I always give people multiple chances. But ultimately it results in distancing from those who are not symbiotic with myself and with creation in general, and who live in sin. And to define sin means without. So an integral being is whole, and when an integral being sins, they deride themselves away from wholeness. That's what sin means. It means without. So I'm not using sin in the term of the Bible or dogma or whatever, even though it's pretty much the same thing when you actually look into it. Like why lusting is a sin, because you're in a state of lack and you're manifesting that lack as opposed to being whole. There's all these tracks around. Interesting, it looks like a deer here, perhaps. Deer came up, maybe went back and forth that way. So internally, so that's how it's done. Externally is basically just clearing out one's field of relations, and that can often lead to like being in relation with a lot fewer people, and one has to be okay with that to value quality over quantity, and separate from those who are not really in our best interest. And that can be family or friends or whoever. The interesting thing about family is that even if you break a bond with a friend, there's not necessarily things keeping you together where you'll keep seeing them other than other friends, right? But when it comes to family, you can be totally at odds with family and they're still going to be your family. So the only ones who are not in harmony, basically, that have not been able to let go of externally are family members. And I mentioned in another video, if you watched, that my dad died in the last year. He was probably the most egregious form of that, and yet I still try to communicate with him oftentimes, and I'm glad for that, because in the days before he died, I talked to him for many hours. And oh, the sun's right behind me. I gotta keep this in the shadow. Okay, how about that? That kind of works. So the internal method, from my perspective, is done mostly through the dream state. So the dream state reveals subconscious connections that we have that inherently we're not consciously aware of. And that can be in relation to other people or our own tendencies, or reflecting our own blind spots and elements of our karma as well. So dreams can reveal the truth. Oftentimes, like when I said people in general can be so two-faced, dreams can reveal the truth. When you see a relativity in a dream, and their subconscious nature is reflected just as one's own subconscious nature is reflected, and we exist within each other, in each other's subconsciouses. So you watching this, you are choosing to be in alignment with me, another creator, and we exist in each other's subconscious. And if we're symbiotic beings, then we both benefit from that relation. But if one of us is parasitical or intends to oppress the other, then it can be problematic. So a lot of people, it's like how the whole system gets the people to police themselves. So the slave system is so effective that They don't need to keep the slaves in line. The slaves keep themselves in line. So to liberate oneself from that means to address those behaviors in the people external to us, and address our own behaviors, which can be revealed to us through communication and through the dream state and reflection. Here's the gate sign declaring the jurisdiction as we enter back into Elodium in this Elodial Foundation, which is a community center. How Elodium scales is with community centers and residences and guilds. So I guess that's kind of the end of the subject for the walk and talk, I guess. War against the miscreants, internally and externally. And at this point it's all peaceful, because it's just about clarifying, purifying one's field, basically. And yet we can see externally that the agenda of the miscreants is to exterminate creation, the natural beings, and so that all that's left are mutant forms of slaves, essentially. And that's why they're mandating in these places, is in order to get every single person into that control grid, that matrix, full spectrum dominance. That's what the military calls it. And you can see how that system will become violent, and is already being violent. A mandate is inherently violent and oppressive, because it's not respecting the freedom and free will of individuals. And I hope that I don't have to engage in that level of conflict. I hope that by engaging consciously from the perspective of intent and action aligned with intent, that there won't have to be actual kind of violent conflicts. But the reality is that you can't control what the dark forces will do, and without those who will face that force with the force of good, with the force of creation and love and symbiosis and nature, Christ, the force, then we'll surely lose. That's just how it is. If everyone's a pacifist, then those who wage war prevail in the end. But I guess that's all I have to say. Up in the courtyard, did one full circle, and I guess I'll just leave it there. And yeah, I really hope that people stand up and take action and resolve this, what's turned into a global pandemic of miscreants. And the culture promotes the miscreants, and at this point it mandates them. So only through communication, organization, and cooperation are we going to overcome this. And maybe that's not true. Maybe every individual empowered being can on their own prevent that from happening. But from what I found, it's the difference between a special and a general relativity. Like, I can survive in my own special relativity, but for the general relativity to stay in alignment with nature, it requires a collective effort. So I'm doing what I can, and Elodium is the method of the organization and cooperation that I've created in alignment with others. I don't know if you could hear that, but there's an eagle chiming in from somewhere, and I guess that's a good place to cut it. Thanks for walking around with me and hearing me talk about this war against the miscreants that I've declared. And perhaps it can be enlightening for you as well to find a greater degree of health and symbiosis in your own life, and to figure out how to engage the miscreants both within and without, and prevent that toxic influence from affecting you. And I will leave it there. See you later.